This is TWiT.
Fresh off his Guinness World Record for breaking 1 million followers on Twitter in the shortest amount of time, at POTUS, also known as Barack Obama, received an open letter from Google, Apple, Facebook, and other tech giants urging him not to provide law enforcement with access to encrypted smartphone data. Now, the companies writing the letter are talking about mandatory backdoors in software. Can you give us just a few reasons why this is a horrible idea?
So, I mean, chief among these is that you weaken the security. So by intentionally disabling security in a manner that allows law enforcement to access encrypted data, you've essentially made a hole in your giant wall of encryption. And so anyone who gets access to those same keys that law enforcement have basically can do an end run around that entire encryption that you've put up, basically making it moot. And this leads to the second problem, which is there's no way to set a backdoor that only good guys can use. It's not like you have to answer a morality question that says, are you law enforcement? Yes. If not, and then it just blocks you off. I mean, if you can make it accessible to one group, another group is going to find a way to access that same privilege that law enforcement has. And there's really no way to kind of cleanly do it. There's no way to kind of segment out the encryption so you have various levels, like one for law enforcement and one for everyone else. It's kind of an all or one deal or none deal.
Right, and we've seen problems with this already. I mean, by old software that's done this in the past. I mean, back to the Clinton era, that we're really, it is a problem, a known problem. So what are the kinds of laws, what's the law going to look like that the president's considering that would allow for backdoors?
Well, so, I mean, this is up to Congress, and Congress actually needs to come up with a law, and then the president can basically write it in. And at this point, it would just essentially give law enforcement a leg up by basically making it mandatory that these tech companies have this backdoor that they can access. And, you know, it's something that I'm actually kind of happy to say that both parties are very skeptical of, you know, for different reasons. But generally because, you know, once you do this, is anything else, you know, secure? Is when you actually go down this path, are you not essentially just removing the civil rights that, you know, we supposedly believe in by just assuming that, well, you know what, everyone does something bad, and you know what, I think I liken it to if you just gave law enforcement a copy of keys to your house, to your safety deposit box, in your bank, in your car, on the off chance that you might have something incriminating that they could use. It kind of goes against the whole innocent until proven guilty. Rather, it just says, you know, you probably likely have done something wrong that eventually we'll need the information for. So why don't you just hand us the keys to all your private data, your privacy, your life, and you know, when it comes around to it, we can access it. We don't have to bother you. We don't have to do any pesky, you know, court orders that you need to be involved in. We can do it all right behind your back. Completely convenient for them.
Right. Well, there is the other side of the argument, of course. I mean, that encryption is making it more difficult for the government to do their job, to keep us safe. Do you believe that? You
know, the more I think about it, what I have to say is law enforcement is a difficult job to begin with. And it's a reason why you actually need a certain education level to do a lot of these jobs. Yeah, it does make it difficult. But at the same time, I mean, do you sacrifice a majority of everyone's privacy just on the off chance that you can catch 2 or 3% of people that use social media or email or any kind of sort of encrypted data to do kind of bad things? You know, it's kind of a balance. In any kind of free society, there's a balance. If not, if we just said, you know, we're under dictatorship, you follow these laws, you can't have encryption, can't lock your doors, you know, your files, medical files, you know, income files and all that stuff are open for us to see whenever we want. We could do that as well. Then we shouldn't have to pretend that we live in a democracy where, you know, we all have the right to privacy and the right to be judged without having our information kind of surreptitiously taken from us without our consent.